Nostalgia is a communist trait, and that is a well-known but the least said truth. Any progressive association, be it government or university or organization, would appreciate reforms. And this is what PM Narendra Modi led central government is doing. Hi and welcome to TFI English, the national socio-political analysis arm of the TFI Media Group. I am your host Piyush, and if you haven't subscribed to the TFI English channel yet, please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates. Coming back to the story, in this video, we will talk about opposition's remarks on the Agnipath scheme. The Narendra Modi government since its inception has singularly focused on one thing, and that is reforms. The central government has not even shied away from bringing necessary changes into an organization synonymous with discipline and moral uprightness, that is the Indian Armed Forces. But despite being one of the best in the world, the Indian Defence Forces too need time to time reforms. However, the reforms have caught the headlines for not so good reasons. The necessary reforms have been politicized in a way by the opposition for the temporary gains, and due to all the turmoil, the intention of reforms has come into question. Reforms are long overdue as far as the Indian Armed Forces are concerned. India is surrounded by some cunning neighbors, and to emerge victorious on multiple fronts, India and its forces need to modernize and reform their old structure and standards. It's not the weapon that decides the fate of any war, but the man behind the weapon matters. And the central government understands the need to reform and upgrade the man behind the weapon to prevent them from becoming redundant. The same is the motive behind bringing in the Agnipath scheme, to bring transformational reforms in the defense forces and a much needed behavioral change in the society. However, the intellectual opposition is protesting against the recruitment scheme just for the sake of opposing. Mamata Banerjee, after the polls has gone bonkers, suggests some of her recent statements. Mamata Banerjee, in an attempt to take a jibe at a political opponent BJP, crossed all the boundaries and termed Agnipath, that has a go-ahead from the Army, Navy and Air Force chiefs, as an insult to the armed forces. In the Legislative Assembly, Banerjee went insane while trying to oppose the recruitment scheme. Banerjee said, "The BJP is trying to create its own armed cadre base through this scheme. What will they do after 4 years? The party wants to give arms into the hands of youth." She even called it a political agenda of the BJP that the party has brought ahead of the 2024 Lok Sabha polls to fool the masses, and said that the BJP is trying to create cadre before the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. I mean, wait, how? The ones who will be recruited this year will be released after the polls, somewhere around 2026. Well, it's Mamata Banerjee's calculations. The Indian political ecosystem is full of dumb personalities. Now, after Mamata Banerjee, former Karnataka CM H.D. Kumaraswamy has alleged that the Agnipath scheme is a hidden agenda by the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh to take control of the Indian Army. Kumaraswamy, making a controversial statement, even said that the Agniveers would become RSS workers inside the army and outside as well, even after service ends. Surpassing the eligibility criteria and entrance procedures, Kumaraswamy alleged that the RSS may push its Karyakartas into the army and said that they are planning an RSS takeover of the army. Kumaraswamy even went on to term the scheme as RSS Agnipath, and said that the RSS wants to implement Nazi rule in the country, for which they have created Agnipath or Agniveers. India secures its borders with the help of these forces, but seeing its role as a security provider, it also acts as a caretaker of peace in the South Asian region. Indian forces are not just limited to combat roles, but they are also involved in non-combat roles including humanitarian assistance, disaster relief, among others. However, India is blessed with such an intellectual opposition that it cannot see the long-drawn benefits of releasing such a disciplined youth into the civilized society and are calling it a BJP propaganda. By addressing the Agniveers as BJP's private militia, the opposition parties and leaders have made it clear that they will drag anything and everything in politics just for the sake of opposing it.